and welcome to the video segment of the Blank Page to Bestseller podcast. I am your host, Peter Wheatmartian, and on this week's Biz Buzz segment, I am joined by Colleen and KZ, where we talk about the different types of reader magnets. So, what are reader magnets? What can writers use to create a reader magnet? And why are reader magnets so important to keep your audience engaged and excited about the upcoming books that you have or the books that you already have out? So reader magnets are really important, and we talk about all of the different parts of why they are so important in this week's Biz Buzz segment. As a reminder, the Biz Buzz segment is part of the Blank Page to Bestseller podcast, and we are bringing you these Biz Buzz segments here on YouTube as well. So if you do enjoy the Biz Buzz segments, please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or ideas or thoughts about the Biz Buzz segment that you are watching, please be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know what you think is what you enjoy and what you think you might have questions on, because we'd love to have more information out there, and we can maybe turn your question into its own Biz Buzz segment in the future. So please be sure to let us know that you are watching the video, and without further ado, I am going to hand it over to myself to introduce the Biz Buzz segment. And welcome to this week's Biz Buzz segment on the Blank Page to Bestseller podcast. As always, I am joined by Colleen and KZ, and on this week's Biz Buzz segment, we are going to talk about reader magnets. So, first of all, I'm sure most of you, or maybe not most of you, some of you probably know what a reader magnet is, but I do want to let Colleen share what reader magnets are, maybe a little bit about them, maybe why they're so important, because I think I think we can all agree, every writer is looking for new ways to connect with readers, and we think that reader magnets are probably one of the most effective ways to connect with your readers. So I'm going to let Colleen kind of share what a reader magnet is, so all of you can start working on your own reader magnets.
Well, thanks, Peter. So reader magnets are like lead magnets. If businesses have lead magnets to get people to sign up for their email lists or offer them free, valuable information, that's what a reader magnet is in the book world, the publishing world. And so most authors want to grow their list for people to buy their books and make it so that their list grows, they connect with readers, find new readers, etc. So what the magnet does in essence is it adds readers to your list, and when they sign up and share their email with authors with them, you as an author give them a promise to keep giving them value. And the ultimate goal really is that they will start buying your books or become a follower and share it with other people. And there are different types of reader magnets and what their objective is. And so they all have a main purpose. And when you want to write a reader magnet, you really want to know who your audience is so you can pick the right type of magnet to introduce those types of readers that you want to get. So there's pre-reader magnets, post-read reader magnets, and side-read reader magnets, and there's different types of these. And what the pre-read reader magnet does, it encourages readers to purchase a new book if they've already read some of your books, or there's a pre-read no spoiler reader magnet, and that inspires readers, gives them something to want to excite them about reading a book that they haven't read yet from you. Then the post-read reader magnets, they ask readers, invite readers to join the email list, okay? And then the post-read spoiler magnets excite readers, make them excited, because if they've already finished a book and they're looking forward to getting a new book and when is the next book coming out, or if there's a series in the book, like I've read a lot of the beach stories in the summer, or like Marilyn Monroe, not Marilyn Monroe, not Marilyn Monroe. I forget her name. But those types, Daniel Steele, those types of things. And so one of them that I really like is Janet Ivanovich, and she has the Stephanie Plum series. So I was always excited every spring and summer when that that magnet, spoiler magnet was coming out, that I knew when her next book in the series was coming out or Daniel Steele's new book was coming out. And so that's what a post read reader magnet does. And then also there's the side read reader magnet. And what that does is it asks readers, gets them excited to continue the book series and then keep going on that series. I don't know, like Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, her books, uh, different books that are in a series. Like Candy has different books she can talk about in her series. And that's what a side read reader magnet does. Now, the side read spoiler magnet, it persuades readers who like your books to purchase another book. So there's different types. I know that kind of like is going into it pretty deep, but uh, what you want to do is make sure that your readers are excited, your non-readers are excited, and point them in the direction of what it is you're trying to do. If you want to grow your email list, you don't have a lot of readers or a lot of people on your list, aim for trying to get them in. And what is it? The most important thing is that they need to be valuable. They have to give value to the person and not just put something out there that really doesn't mean anything to any of them. Or, talk about your genre or what helps you excite readers to read about your book. And that's different for nonfiction writers and then fiction writers because there's different audiences for everybody. Does that help answer your question or not?
No, I definitely think that's a great primer for what reader magnets are. You had mentioned a couple of different ones that kind of piqued my interest. I know I guess let me see if I can put this in a little bit more um or a little bit different words. So there's different types of reader magnets depending on whether you've read the book or haven't read the book. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Awesome. And then what can you tell our listeners what the spoiler magnets are? Because I was kind of a little bit confused about that. So what do you mean by a spoiler magnet?
The purpose of the spoiler magnets, whether they're post spoiler, pre spoiler, whatever type, you want to attract new readers to a series or a new book in what you're writing. Does that help?
Yeah, so if I'm correct, if I'm thinking spoiler, I'm thinking, oh, it's sharing about something that happens in an upcoming book or an upcoming movie or something like that. So is that kind of like taking something from a book that's art that you might already have out so that readers are interested in what's already out?
Yes, yes, it excites them to read more. Like the beach series that I read usually. They'll have a series of uh, you know, families on the beach. One summer they'll talk about how they one story that I remember, and Candy will like this because she does the turtle watching on the beach in North Carolina there. And one story was a family were this lady was she helped the turtles get to the ocean, do the turtle watching. And what happened is someone came to live with her and it grew into this person became a lover of helping the turtles get there. And so as this lady aged every year, you would hear the story about someone else coming in and learning how to love the turtles and what was all involved in helping to save the turtles and get them to the ocean and that type of stuff. So that when the lady, she eventually, got old and passed away, and then these other women and people took over what she was doing so that it continued through life. Does that help?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I think. Yeah. So like you had mentioned, KZ, you are also, like we mentioned before, a pretty in the know author, especially on the fiction side of things. So what has been your experience working with different reader magnets?
Oh, well, mine is strictly primarily rather from the author's perspective, but I want to kind of continue touching on what Colleen had said, and I love the way she described it as a spoiler. I see that as two ways. What she's describing to me is a teaser.
Mhm.
Okay, so um, The goal is as a writer, my goal is to tease out spoiler information. Okay. And that's where I've used it anyway. And I'm sure there are many other ways to put that together, but that's how I've done it. You can do that either, and I have done it either at marketing to a new audience, to an existing audience. Marketing to your existing audience is especially good. One of the things
Mhm.
I like to do is in my newsletter, when I have a book that's coming out, a couple of weeks before each issue of the newsletter, I'll put in just something about a reminder, a teaser that the book is coming out, and maybe I'll include a quote. Maybe I'll include just a little bit of something just to, like Colleen said, generate excitement. It's
Mhm.
exactly what it does, and that's how you use a spoiler as an author. Okay, and Colleen's given it to you as a reader, which I think is awesome because we're seeing it from both perspectives there. And you see how effective it is. She remembers about the turtles, which she's right. I'm a turtle patroller, so that warms my heart. Um, so that's how I use it. You can also use spoiler alerts or spoiler teasers by um, generating interest in your future books by communicating maybe what the secrets are. So in that respect, maybe you have a book, maybe you form a book club as an author,
Mhm.
and you have the people in your group have all read the book. So then you can talk about the spoilers, the real spoilers. You can talk about the secret information that you don't get unless you read the book. That's just another way to use the same information. So does that answer your question, Peter? I think I've lost track of the question.
No, no, I think you're on the right track. So, let me I'm going to just pose this as an open question. Whoever can respond, um, feel free to. But my kind of understanding about a reader magnet is there's really different types. So one is there's a reader magnet which again is trying to get people interested in a book. Some of them are for books like that may already be out. If you're reading a series and you're interested in reading the next book of the series, there may be some reader magnets to kind of get people involved that way. And then there are also some for if you don't necessarily have a series, but if you have an upcoming book, which gets people excited about a book that you have coming up in the near future. And that's again to get people excited. And that might be if they liked one of your books that they finished, then they might also like this other book. Is that kind of the feel that I'm feeling?
Yeah, I think so, Peter. I think that covers that. So
Yeah.
probably the easiest way to explain this is just to talk about some reader magnets.
Yeah. Let me ask you then both. So I don't know how many of you are Kindle readers or some sort of ebook readers. I'm sure we've all read some sort of book on a Kindle, but at the end of a lot of books, sometimes they will put a chapter of the next book in the series. Is that a reader magnet?
Yes, it is. It is definitely a reader magnet. And it is a common practice in fiction. Not so much in nonfiction, but I do see it
Hmm.
occasionally in nonfiction as well. When you have a book that has a follow up coming, or
Hmm.
perhaps has a workbook that's associated with it. But
Hmm.
yes, that is definitely a form of reader magnet, and an effective one.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Anytime you
know.
can give anytime you can give value to the reader, that entices them to move to the next step that you want them to go to, that's a reader magnet in my book.
No, that's so true. And I know, Colleen, you mentioned early on, it's usually built around building some sort of either an email list or social media following or something like that. So, you don't necessarily get people on your email list with just sharing a chapter in a book that's already out. But what are maybe some of those ways that you can build an email list? What are the different types of reader magnets that way?
Do you want
Well,
me to take that, Colleen, or do you want to?
no, go ahead, Candy. That's great.
To me, the most common reader magnet, the one that we most think of, is actually putting out a short book. and actually calling it, it's actually called a lead magnet in some
Hmm.
circles, or a reader magnet. The key to this is that you are giving it away to a select group, and you're giving it away to them for in exchange for something. Instead of them buying it, you're giving them the book in exchange for their email address and the
Hmm.
promise that they will stick around, hopefully, to continue to get more information from you in that respect. Would you agree, Colleen, that that's the most common?
Yeah, that's I agree totally with that, Candy. And it is about you want to grow your list, but you always also want to keep those people interested so they keep coming back.
Hmm.
And yeah, what you said was great.
No, yeah, that's so true. I think um, I think a lot of where I understand reader magnets comes from more of the business world because we've been really engrossed in the business side of things. So for me, there's a lot of different ways. I know, Colleen, you'll remember this word from some of our business coaching we took was like the irresistible free offer. Something that is like that a person in your audience would just absolutely not die without, but basically couldn't live without. And that's why and it gets them to, like KZ, you said, trade their email address or their whatever it may be for that copy of the book.
Yep, absolutely. There's a
Mm.
science to creating the reader magnets too. So
Mhm.
um, one of the things I would be interested in exploring a bit is the difference between a reader magnet for a series and a reader magnet for, say, a nonfiction book, because they are totally different people.
So true, so true. So, as from the fiction side of things, I mean, you kind of mentioned that will sometimes share quotes or sometimes share, little snippets of what's in an upcoming book. From your side of things, what is that fiction or series based reader magnet really revolve around?
Well, your reader magnet for a series is going to, first of all, introduce the concept, the world. Whatever is going to be common throughout the series needs to be explored in not in detail, but on a high level in the reader magnet. So
Mhm.
if your reader magnet is a book, okay, a short book, then you want to make sure that it has all of the basic elements of the world, if you will. Okay, whether it's no matter what that world is, and and it has to be presented in a way that is super super appealing. You really have to spend time. I've seen so many authors make a mistake here in that they think, oh, this is easy, I just need to make a short book. And if you don't pay attention to what you are doing in that book, you can have a reader magnet that simply is not effective.
Mhm.
I think it's quite important that your reader magnet, it has as much attention as any other book that you put out, and perhaps even more so. Oftentimes in a series, in addition to the reader magnet having the basic concepts, it'll introduce maybe characters that are going to be one or two characters that will be coming through in each, for fiction at least, in each of the remaining series. In nonfiction, a series might be um, a series of business books where you're going to talk about different concepts. And perhaps the first book is focused on um, the concept of public relations and marketing. And maybe the second book is going to be the concepts of social media marketing. Okay. So the series is going to, for that particular book, lead magnet, would start out with an overall view of all of the five or four or five or however many books are in the series that are coming out, and the topics in a high level overview of the topics in a very very compelling narrative that is going to draw the reader in, but also leaves them with room for questions.
Mhm.
You have to leave the reader, a good reader magnet is going to have built-in questions that you didn't answer.
Mhm. Oh, that's so important, and I think that having that little teaser, if you will, or that little bit of intrigue that, oh, how do I answer this question? Should hopefully lead your reader into realize, or your hopefully help your reader really be interested in what's in your book, so that they'll go ahead and just purchase it right away if it's out, or be excited for it when the book launch does arrive.
Yeah, Colleen, I saw you saying something.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is I looked up the name of the author who I forgot, and it's Mary Alice Monroe, not Marilyn Monroe. So I wanted to say that. And also, what I think is interesting too is what Candy said about the teasers. You know, when it's a book and you write in the teasers of something that's going to really excite your audience to learn more and to do more. And I just wanted to kind of say that. And it's so important so that we make the readers or potential readers get that desire in them to want to find out what's next.
Yeah, that's so true. So, one thing that I think we haven't talked about too much, and is the nonfiction reader magnet. I know that these types of reader magnets may not necessarily be a snippet of the book, or they may not
Right.
necessarily be introducing characters, because, nonfiction books just are different than a fiction book, in this way the story is told. But maybe what is a common tool or common tactic that a nonfiction reader magnet might have?
I Go ahead, Colleen.
I was just going to say something that they're looking for. What is the nonfiction uh, audience that you're writing to? What are they looking for? For instance, we are putting out a new reader magnet that talks about tips for getting PR for your book, how to keep getting that book out there. What is that? Are there people looking to make their book their business? Then they want to have those ideas about a magnet. What about if you are a holistic practitioner and you love you're a doctor, but you do it, holistically, and instead of trying the drugs all the time, maybe you have a different approach, like the essential oils, or people are making these tincture things and those type of things. So giving them information about how that could help, along with what the doctor is saying. Does that make sense?
No, I think
Yeah.
yeah, that's really good. Casey, you were going to say something there too, I think.
I think just keying off of what Colleen said is that I was going to give an example of something that I've seen in a nonfiction leader magnet. I belong to I joined a course, okay, about managing Facebook advertising, okay, and the first course was free. It was a 3 lesson course, and it was free, totally free, okay. And I am telling you, he gave away the whole product, but not entirely. He gave away the entire system in that course, in that three session course. And then I was invited to join the full course, which I did. Okay. It worked. His lead magnet worked. Okay. I bought it. And I am so glad I did, because he continues to update rather, the information as things change, as the market changes, as Facebook changes their way of dealing with advertising. I continue to get a full breadth of information about it. And he stays on top of it, and I don't have to, because he is. So that's a really good example in my mind of a leader magnet. Now, if you look at the one that we're working on, it's a perfect example for us as well, because the author's voice is all about marketing, is a good part of what we offer
Mhm.
to the authors we work with, is teaching them how to be better marketers. And so a PR book as a leader magnet, that's us giving away our information for free, and the next step is to take one of our courses,
Mhm.
because then you're going to get more.
Mhm. No, that's so true. And I think I think we've covered a lot about different reader magnets and different, between different genres and different types of reader magnets and everything in between. I'm going to just ask either one of you or both of you, is there anything special that we haven't covered, or do you think that we pretty much have covered it for our listeners today?
I think we've pretty much covered it, but one thing I do want to say is instead of just throwing something out there for your reader magnet, do some market research.
Hmm.
Ask your audiences what's their number one problem? What are they looking for? And we may have covered that a little bit, but I really wanted to focus in on that because you need to know what your audience wants or what they're desiring in order to make a really valuable magnet for them.
And I agree with that, Colleen and Peter. I think that is really the bottom line to all reader
Hmm.
magnets is that it's not really about the author. It's not
Hmm.
really about us. It's about what the audience wants. So the readers are the ones who really have to be uh, first in mind. You said that, Colleen, in your first when you first talked about at the opening of our segment here. You said that it's important to know who your market is, who you're talking to, and I think that's the right place to end this is
Hmm.
because that is exactly true. The most important
Hmm.
part of a reader magnet is having it be effective, and it's only effective if you wrote it with the
Hmm.
person in mind that you want to receive the message.
That is so true. And I think that what you just said there, KZ, about having the reader top of mind is something that we've said in pretty much every episode for the last 6 months. No, but that's so true. So let me do a real quick overview then for our listeners at the end, since we've learned so much about reader magnets. So first of all, keep your audience in mind because that is going to tell you how to go about creating your reader magnet. First is basically, are you doing a fiction or nonfiction book? That's probably the first question you're going to have to answer. And then second is, are you trying to get new readers because you have a series in a book, or are you trying to maybe spoil what not spoil, but send out spoilers or teasers to readers to get them to purchase a new book that's coming out? Or are you trying to, like with a nonfiction book, are you trying to be get the information in your nonfiction book top of mind for your reader so they have more questions that you can answer in your book? And I think those are questions that we should all ask before we dig into just going out there and creating something for maybe less effect if you don't have those questions answered. But I do want to then just say thank you both for hopping on and letting me learn about reader magnets. I know I've learned a whole lot today. I'm sure our listeners have as well. Um, if you have enjoyed this, please be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast and also check us out on YouTube. We are putting up all of our Biz Buzz segments on YouTube for you to listen to as well there. And if you do enjoy the YouTube videos, if you do see us on YouTube, let us know that you like them. Send us a comment, put a comment down in the video. If you have questions about what we have said in the Biz Buzz segment, give us a comment. If you have maybe further questions or want to have another topic come up in our Biz Buzz segments, let us know there too as well. We're really trying to help grow our YouTube channel, so you can find all of these segments there as well. And again, thank you both for hopping on today's Biz Buzz segment.